What we're going to do today is I'm going to talk about interactive content. I'm going to give you some examples of that in just a little bit. But first of all, we're going to run through this and we're going to take a look at these slides as we go. I'm going to try to show them without switching to presentation mode, because when I switch to presentation mode, I can't see the chat. So let me know if you're able to see the slides okay. I want to tell you, first of all, this has been a passion of mine for a long time. Creating content has been something that I've been in the process of doing. I've been doing and been in the process of doing over the last 35 years plus. It is it's the thing that I've done. I was a school teacher. We created content there. I created programs for schools. Content is my thing, and I love it. But I began to see that there was less and less interest in longer content and more activity with content that was highly interactive. So I began about 8 years ago trying to find the right platform that we could do this on. And I can remember coding my first 2 or 3 quizzes and my first 2 or 3 surveys that I tried to put together. And I decided that's not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I started looking for what's going to be the right platform. And I've heard all kinds of promises, all kinds of things. But there are some tools that you can use today that we didn't have available to us a few years ago. And I want to share those with you today. I want to take you on this little journey about what is the value of interactive content and why is Eric so excited about that. So that's what we're going to talk about in the next few minutes. As we go, I'll be sharing some other very personal things with you as we go along, but I'm just going to ask you to stick with me till we get to the end. I'm going to give you an offer at the end here that is important. Those of you who are already in the Genius Founders Library, that offer, you're already in the offer. So don't worry about that. Okay. Number 2, this is my next slide. Brands are always talking about themselves. That's the problem. The problem is if you blow your own horn all the time, what happens is nobody pays attention to you. Brands are always talking about themselves and will sign up for pro. This is a good time to talk about this, and the very first thing that you do. We have the best. Everybody has the best. And so the problem with that is, and then we have an 800 number so you can get a hold of us. But I don't know why I need to get a hold of you. The more you talk about yourself, the less people want to hear. And that's the challenge with marketing, is that we've been trained, and all of us have, we've been trained, started out on white papers and reports. Are y'all able to see the slides okay? We started out on white papers and reports, and we would give people a 15-page report, or we'd give them a 3-page white paper, and people signed up for those, and they grabbed them, and they're still sitting on their hard drive someplace or on a flash drive, and they're wondering, what am I going to do with that? So I knew we had to do something better than that. We had to do something that would work in today's world with the attitude and mentality of today's buyer, and we had to change our paradigm. We had to move in a different direction than we had been going before. So let's take a look at this. Customers need to be engaged with, not sold to. The old Jeffrey Gitomer model says that people hate to be sold, but they love to buy. So that's kind of always been my thinking, is that people hate to be sold, but they love to buy. People do like to buy, and we're going to find a way to help them to be ready to buy. And so that's going to be more valuable than being sold to. Let's just show you a little bit of performance metrics here for calculators or quizzes versus static content. The landing page click-through rate, everybody would be really happy with an 18% homepage click-through rate or a landing page click-through rate. If it was a calculator, look at the difference between 18 and 67%. Can you all see that? Can you see that okay? Because this is really big. I want you to get this. As valuable as I think landing pages are, and more important than a website, as valuable as I think they are, they don't have a real high click-through rate on them. Even great landing pages don't have high click-through rates on. Does that make sense to everybody? Are you following along with what I'm saying here? The goal isn't to get people to like a Facebook page. The goal is to get people to click and take action on the content that you have. Look at the conversion here from a landing page, or the conversion rate of people who land on a landing page, 6%, as opposed to somebody who goes to a calculator, 34%. And then the bounce rate drops from 36% to 18%. Valuable numbers, important metrics that we understand what's going on here. And this is the reason why I'm so excited about this, because I believe that investing in calculators is the most important thing that you can do. Now, I'm going to use the word calculator in a very broad sense. I'm going to show you an example, funnel hack, in just a little bit. I think this funnel hack is going to help you, okay? I'll tell you a really interesting story that goes with that. Number one reason is because they add real value. They add real value to what you're going to do. Look, check this out. Took this from Google. Check this out. Anytime you type in Google, how much can I, you're going to get all kinds of things. Well, how cool would it be if that was a calculator? Or how cool would it be if that was a quiz? Or how cool would it be if the person was looking on Facebook and go, I was just about to Google that. Instead of going to an article, they got the answer to the question, how much can I sell my car for, by adding some things in, and it goes through the calculator. That's the word the calculator thing is at. Goes through the calculator, and now they have a real number. They have a real answer. And then that goes to directly, rather than having to read an article, figure that out, call an 800 number, goes directly, the result of the calculator goes directly to somebody who can get in touch with them and some action that they can take. Much higher conversion rate. Same thing's true about every one of these. This is the most fun that I've ever had, is just being able to type into Google and see what it is that pops up. What's going to come up when I say, what does it cost to? And then I fill in the blank with the to. This is really not complicated to do. And I'm going to show you something. Years ago, probably 3 or 4 years ago now, I took my wife to the home show here in Huntsville. When we went to the home show, she said, what are we going to the home show for? First of all, it's at the wrong time of the year. And secondly, that's not our gig. I said, I'm going there because I want to do some marketing research. I want to help somebody. I want to help somebody today with their marketing. And she said, okay, cool, we'll have fun. So we go to the door, we pay our $15 to get in. We walk into the door, and I look at the agenda, and there are 5 roofing companies that are there. 5 roofing companies. So I go to the first roofing company, and the guy says to me, would you like to have a free estimate on your roof? And I said, wrong question. And I go to the next one, same thing takes place. And I said, wrong question. Go to the third one. And he asked me that question. I said, that's the wrong question, sir. Because you're going to, if I called you on the second Tuesday of next month, you would give me a free estimate on my roof, would you not? He said, yeah. But we're here today, and I could sign up a time when we could come and do a free estimate on your roof. And I said, wrong question. I walked away. My wife said, how long are you going to beat people up with that wrong question thing? So we get to the 5th booth, and the 5th booth, I finally have just about given up. And I said, the guy runs up to me and he says, would you like to have a free estimate on your roof? And I said, wrong question. He says, well, what is the right one? Now I've got a winner, right? That's a buying decision. Would y'all agree with that? Now I have a winner. And he said, I said, you're asking the wrong question. The right question should be, just had a bad storm that went through town. What do I look for to make sure that my roof's in good shape? Because by the time I see a drip in the ceiling, it's too late. Watch this calculator. Watch this calculator. We have this 3-step funnel, okay? We have an awareness, a consideration, and a transaction. Watch what we're going to do with this. The top of the funnel, the awareness. Which color would look good on my roof? Or any one of a dozen other questions that could have been asked at the very beginning that would be the trigger kind of thing. What if I said the average roof in Alabama would last 20 years and I want to be, and my goal is to get you to let me take a look at your roof. And I gave you 5 things to look for at the end of every storm to make sure that you're not going to have a leak in your roof. What do I look for after a storm? That's the top of the funnel. That's the initial conversation. That's the thing that gets the attention. Is everybody paying attention to me? That is the thing that gets attention. I need you to respond. So I've got the person's attention. The next step is, what's it going to cost? And so we've gone from, remember the steps? We've gone from awareness to consideration. The consideration is, I'm not going to think about this unless I can afford it. So let's talk about how can we afford that. All right. And then the next step is the transaction. How much can you save by using us to rebuild your roof? 3 completely different calculators. 3 completely different calculators, 3 steps in the buying process, 3 funnels. Instead of giving them an ebook up here, I gave them a calculator. Instead of giving them 3 things to look for and a checklist to go through here, I gave them a calculator. It has a checklist in it. The whole purpose of the calculator is the checklist. And then I take them through this. Instead of giving them a quote, I let them quote it back to me. How much better of a sales process is that? Somebody answered that for me. Is that a better sales process? And I know Mark's driving, so he's having a hard time responding, but that's okay. Now, here's the secret. These things go viral, okay? I give you a little insight, a little background to the interactive content thing, and here it is. New York Times' most popular story of 2013 was not an article, it was a quiz. New York Times' most popular story of 2013 was not an article, it was a quiz. Now, let me tell you the reason why that's so important, okay? Because here we are, that was 2013. Here we are in 2019, that's 6 years later. It still ranks in the top 5 all-time articles from the New York Times. Now, I know you want to know exactly what was that quiz that got that kind of attraction. I mean, New York Times has been around for a while, right? You don't even have to say New York Times. All you have to say is Times, and everybody knows what you're talking about. Kind of like you don't have to say anything but Herald when you know it's the Boston Herald. But here's my point. If the most popular article of all time in the top 5 happened to be a quiz, then we probably should pay attention to that, right? Here's the quiz. How y'all use and you guys talk. That was the quiz. I was absolutely blown away at what that actual quiz was. Now, today, BuzzFeed has an entire staff dedicated to doing nothing but putting out quizzes. This content aggregator, BuzzFeed, and they monitor to see what's the most popular. BuzzFeed's made their focus on quizzes. Look at this. This is BuzzFeed's most trending articles right now. This one's a quiz. This one's a quiz. This one's a quiz. This one's a quiz, or a calculator, or a quiz, or a calculator, or a quiz, or a calculator. That's the majority. The next thing is that 82% of people who see a quiz shared on their Facebook feed are going to click it if it's shared by a friend. Everybody wants to know, wow, what cat type is my personality most like, or whatever. But those things get shared a lot. And because they get shared a lot, then we have the opportunity to be able to harvest from that some interactive content that might actually make things incredibly valuable for us. Take a look at this. I don't know how well you can see this. I'm going to give you just a couple of numbers off of here because I'm not sure you can see it really well. But this is a list of quizzes, okay, by their popularity. This quiz, what is your most dominant character trait? That's a little deeper than what cat reflects your personality type. That's a pretty good question, right? Everybody wants to know what's your most dominant character trait. That was shared 3.9 million times. 3.9 million times. Good stuff, right? Would y'all agree with that? The next one. A very small fraction of brands are leveraging interactive content. Now's the time to differentiate. Now's the time for us to jump on this bandwagon. This is the time for us to pay careful attention. If a very small fraction of brands are leveraging interactive content, what a great opportunity that we have to be able to do that for them. Okay, this is a tool that you can sell. Those of you who are in the Genius Founders Library, our Genius Libraries Founders team, this is a service that you can sell, and you sell it tomorrow. And as Carrie just says, something about travel agents. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to be? I had a video I was going to show y'all, but I'm not going to have enough time to do that, of a guy who was trying to figure out where travel teachers would want, what part of the world would they want to go to. And he's got a whiteboard and he's checking these things off. How cool would it be if that was not a whiteboard that he was trying to go through and ask you the question and you are having to respond in a live feed, but instead it was a calculator. Would you not think that would get shared frequently across those platforms where travel teachers would attend, or traveling nurses or somebody like that? That's what I'm talking about. You may not be able to see this either, but this is, I call this funnel on steroids. The number one way to interact with a cold contact, the number one way is contest. Number two, we'll talk about contests in another webinar. Number two is assessments, and number three are quizzes. It's not a lead magnet. It's not an ebook. It's those three things. And I don't need to read anything else except for this comment about Neil Patel. Neil Patel saw a 500% increase in leads after implementing quizzes. 500%. Nobody's better optimized. Nobody does a better job with SEO than Neil Patel. And the one thing that he did that revolutionized the number of leads that he got was using quizzes. That one blew my socks off. I can't tell you how many books I'm sitting here looking at in my library that the foreword was written by Neil Patel. Guy knows his stuff. If he got a 500% increase, then I kind of like to mimic people who are successful, correct? The next one is greater content engagement. I'm not even going to bother with this slide. I just want you to see that interactive content gives you a greater way to be able to maximize the content that you have with your readers. Your readers your audience wants to be engaged with. And it's really important to find tools that are engaging with that. Yeah, I totally agree with you, Rob. The more research, I knew this was magical. I knew it was magical. The reason why I know it was magical, because I went back and I looked through all of the training programs I ever did, and almost all of them contain some kind of quiz or calculator that fast forwarded us through that workshop or through that training process. And I have those programs I've sold for $10,000 for a weekend. And I looked at that and I went, oh, they're all filled with calculators. These are all survey questions and things that people can get. And it's the fastest way to get valuable information, but it's also this. And I want to mention this right now, because if I don't, I will forget it. It's the fastest way to get data. How valuable is data? Do you think that the reason why they put that personality quiz out on Facebook and 3 million people shared it, do you think they did that just so you would find out what your personality type was? Not on your life. I can promise you that data got sold to somebody. Not even the email. I'm not even concerned about the email. It's the data that matters. And that makes a big difference. And I don't have time to get into the data, but the data is the valuable thing that you're collecting out of this content. It's not just the email, it's the data. The results are where the magic's at. And we don't have time in this webinar to be able to show you all of that, but I'm going to give you 6 different ways that you can take a quiz, a calculator, an e-com quiz, something like that, and use it to create that first top of awareness funnel so that you can engage with people who have made the decision they're going to buy from you. Okay? So these are the 6 different ways you can do that. This is all available to people in the Genius Library, and that is a graded quiz A graded quiz is extremely important. Okay. A graded quiz has, now I know how I fit in. Now I know where I fall. Now I have an understanding of, I can take this to an employer, and I know that the guy who scored 90% on his proficiency exam doesn't need as much hand holding as the guy who scored 65%. I may keep them both, but at least I know what to do and how to treat and how to train. Graded quizzes are really important. Outcome quiz. What is an outcome quiz? Well, this is where I'm going to get to an intended outcome. Okay. I want to know, what is it going to cost for me to replace my roof? I need to know the square footage. I need to know the style. I need to know the pitch. Those are 3 things I need to know. And then when I enter those numbers in, then I could, then I get an outcome for that. Okay. A result calculator works in kind of the same way. They're a little bit different. They have a slightly different platform. They have a slightly different result in that. Maybe I want to go through 25 questions to figure out what my personality type is. That's different than an outcome quiz, but that's a result calculator. Adds those things up, tells me what my results are. An opinion poll. Opinion poll is really important. Carrie's actually going to post an opinion poll right now. So Carrie, if you could do that, because I want you all to give me a little feedback on the value that you can see in interactive content. We have on here a school teacher. This is a great place to be able to create that same thing for school teachers. So just click on one of those answers there. Are you currently using interactive content? And let's see if we can get some results from this and what we might be able to do with those. Okay. All right. Okay. It looks like most of you are only seeing the potential. You're not seeing, you've not used one ever before. So that's good. It's good to know. The next 2, and I'm not going to spend any more time on this, an ecom quiz. Can you imagine the power of an ecom quiz? Which t-shirt color would look best on you? Well, now I've engaged that person. I'm giving them information back. I'm opening the door to be able to sell to them. And an ecom quiz is just amazing. What colors are appealing to you? Blah, blah, blah. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about for an ecom quiz. And the final one is a chatbot. And chatbots are really, really cool. They're a really cool platform. What I would like for you to do right now, Carrie is going to share with you a chat bot that is kind of goofy. And I want you to, let's see, that's not the one I have. That's the Tommy Boy quiz. That's an outcome quiz. The chat bot is one that I used for something else. And I apologize for not having that out here and ready, but the chatbot quiz is really cool. Chatbot quiz is actually, you can tell me what you're looking for, and I can tell you who you need to get in touch with, that kind of a thing. This is a chatbot quiz that allows me to collect the person's Facebook information or allows me to collect their email address. And then I can redirect them to different places. I use Thrivecart. Thrivecart is my platform that I use to collect, to get to do my billing for all my services. And so if somebody wants to cancel a monthly subscription, I can use the chat bot and have them tell me the reasons why they want to cancel that subscription, and initiate a conversation before we take them to the place where they can go in and discontinue their platform. Does that make sense to you? Do you see how valuable that can be, that chatbot piece? No, it's not ManyChat. This is a collector that does this, okay? Very, very important difference between those. Now, I'm going to walk you through, that's the first half of the webinar. All right. Looks like you all understand and see the value of the of taking advantage of using interactive content with your community. I'm going to show you some examples of that at the end, but right now I want to give you 5 options. You have 5 options available to you. The first one is you can choose to do nothing. Okay, you can choose to do nothing. If you choose to do nothing, then guess what happens? Not really anything happens. Okay, we can stay in touch with you, but there's not really much else we can do. Or you can choose to have us build an interactive platform for you. If you do that, know this, that they typically start at about $350, and there's a recurring monthly fee for it. All right. The third option that you have is you can choose to have us build a client experience. Now, if I have local clients and I want to do business with local clients, or if I have international clients and I want to do business with, I want to take their business to another level, and I want to sell them a service that will take their business to another level, then we can talk about creating that whole client experience. We can put together a variety of quizzes that will help, or we can put together a variety of quizzes that will take them to a customer service experience or something to that effect that will really help them to sort through the needs that I started to say users, the need that their clients or their customers go through, so that we'll be able to be tremendously helpful to them. But we can build that for you. That there's a cost associated with that. Obviously, the cost starts around $750, and there's a recurring fee that goes to that. Depends on what the client needs and what kind of an experience you've sold to them. But imagine this: you sell it for $1,500, turn around, have us do it for $750, and maintain it. Everybody wins in that situation. Your local client gets that customer experience. You get the business, and you get a revenue off of it. Rob, thank you. We'll be in touch, okay? And yes, there will be a replay, and I'll make that replay available to people who missed part of this webinar. All right. And then number 5, the 5th one is this, and I'm going to take you through this a little bit, because the Genius Library Founders team, you have these tools available to you in that platform. Now, we have to work with you to make that happen, but you have the tools available to you. So let me run through the Genius Founders Library piece, or Genius Library Founders piece, so that you'll understand what's there. And then we're going to demo this for a little bit, okay? The founder benefits go like this. You can get a landing page builder with all the creatives that you need. You can get a funnel builder built on an HTML5 platform. I had that done. I love that platform. I use it I use my own personal websites there. You're going to see a sample of that in just a little bit. And then you also have the ability to be able to build funnels in that. And the funnel inside of the HTML5 builder, which we call Thunderbird Web Tech, that builder is amazing. The funnels that go there are amazing. Most of you signed up using one of the funnels from that tool. You have access to the library of courses and information that you can sell to other people. You have a course platform where you can sell your own products. We decided that what was really needed in the market space wasn't to sell people more product. It was to sell them the service so that they can actually do what they want to do. And if you have a membership platform and you have a landing page builder and you have a product that you're building and you have a way that you create video on it and you have a Thrive cart or a shopping cart that you put all that stuff into, or you have a store that it comes off of, you've got a lot of stuff dedicated to just being able to get one product or 2 products out. I see people selling that all the time, and it just grieves me. So we created the Founders Library that would give you the ability to be able to put those things on your own platform or on a platform, and you don't have to worry about buying all the stuff. You don't have to worry about how does this work, because we know how it works. All right. And we can make it work for you. You have services that you can sell. This is an easy service to sell. And we can give you the whole pitch for how do I go into a local business and help them to purchase the right calculator or the right quiz or the right whatever it is that they need. All right. The next thing is that you have an interactive client experience platform that you can actually take advantage of. You get a chance to work with me, and you have a limited time offer because I'm not going to leave this opportunity open for very long. So this is it. You get to choose your path. Now, I'm going to jump out of here, and I'm going to give you some examples of that. Would you like to see an example of what I'm talking about? If you would, let me know. Can you do that for me while I switch my screen? I hope you don't go away. while I try to find the piece that's missing here. I have a missing, there it is. All right, let me jump back in over here. I'm going to share my screen. Total transparency on this webinar. I don't hide anything from anybody. People always ask me why I do that. The reason why I do that is because I have confidence in the teams that I work with and where we go with them. So the platform that we use is called Outgrow. We have all of the tools in Outgrow, including the funnels, which honestly would cost you a fortune. I believe that all those funnels and templates and all this stuff starts somewhere in the neighborhood of $120 a month, up to $900 a month. So that's the reason why we've created the platform the way that we have. Okay, let me get back to where I can see the chat. All right, are y'all seeing my screen okay? I want to make sure you're seeing my screen and that it's not hiding anymore. Okay, good. All right, so this is the platform that we use. We use Outgrow. We use Outgrow because it's incredibly powerful. We use Outgrow because it comes with a lot of templates. We use Outgrow because it has these 6 different calculator methodologies here. The chatbot, the e-commerce quiz, the poll, the graded quiz, the outcome quiz, and the numerical calculator are all there. We have the ability to be able to do the disc profile and a whole bunch of other things that people are finding to be very, very popular. Okay, so that's the first thing. The next thing I want you to see is, give me a second here, and I'm going to pull up my homepage website because I told you this is built on that HTML5 platform. But I have I don't have all of them, but I have a bunch of assessments that are available on that platform. Did y'all notice how fast that website loaded? That's the advantage of HTML5 today, is that it dances circles around WordPress with security and all the other issues baked in. So this is the site. Let me show you what the assessments look like here. All right. So I have this squeezed together a little bit. And it fits better like that. But here we go. Okay. This is I have 2 different ways. I can click on this right here, the headline, and it will open up a new page. Or I can click right here. It opens up in a pop-up. New page or pop-up. You get to pick. And you can build that any way that you want to. You can have it so that it comes in from the side. You can have all kinds of things happen here. But this adds to the credibility of your site. If you're taking them off site, out of your website in order to see this, or you're taking them out of your landing page in order to see this, you run the risk that they're not going to come back. If I want to collect some data right here, I can do that in a very quick fashion. Does that make sense to everybody? This is really, really important. I like to keep people at home. I like to keep them close by. I don't want them to be chasing all over the place, and I don't want to introduce them to a whole bunch of new stuff. What I want to do is make their experience very, very simple. And this is a way to make that experience very, very simple. All right. Now, I'm going to stop sharing for just a second because I'm going to have to use a password. But give me a chance to do this. And I will share again. This is one of the training programs that is inside of, that we have inside of the Genius Library. It's called Sales Superstars. All right. So I'm just going to take you to one piece of this, but you'll notice this. We've started doing this with everything. You have a chance to interact everywhere. Okay. You got that? Mark, thank you so much for joining us. Please go into the Founders Library channel on Slack and set up a time to talk to me. Would you please, Mark? I would appreciate that. But we want to be able to have a way to interact with people here. And then I want you to check this out. All right. Instead of taking them someplace, how about being able to have your quizzes right here? All right. Now I can collect their information right here and be able to get back with them resulting upon that quiz. So we've got that built in, baked into all of the training platforms, right? So y'all see that? You understand where we're going with that? Who's still on the webinar with us now? I know Mark had to leave. Who do we have left? Because who we have left is important. Sandy, you are in. Hugh, are you still around? Hugh doesn't look like he's able to respond. And so Maya. Okay, that's who we still have with us. I just wanted to make sure. So Maya, do you have any questions? I want to address the questions before I hit the 40-minute mark. All right, then this is what this is. Okay, I'm going to give you. I'm going to take you through an understanding of what we have with the Genius Founders Library platform. Okay, we can build for you for negotiated rate. This is one of the services that you can sell. For negotiated rate, we can build for you the tools that you need in order to sell locally, to use in your business, to do that variety of things. Now, you get a deeply discounted rate as part of that platform. And the other thing is, you have all the tools are available to you at the same time. And the reason why that's important is because all 6 of these fit a need someplace. All 6 of these fit a need someplace. But you don't get all 6 of them unless you pay a lot of money for the platform. You get all 6 of them when you work with us. All right, so I did a number earlier. I just kind of wrote down a couple of numbers, and I thought, if somebody had all 6 of these, what would they pay with a landing page to put those in? What would they pay? And so I figured it up. It was a little over $2,000 a year. A little over $2,000. This is not something that you do 1 month and you shut it down. These are the kinds of things that have to soak. They have to be around for a little while. They have to go through a process. You have to have the ability to be able to share them over and over again. And they have a longevity to them that grows as you go. So this is not something that you try out for 30 days and you give up on. It's not something you try out for 90 days and give up on. This is something that you do for the long haul. This is how you build permanent prosperity in your business. This is not a get-rich-quick kind of a thing. This is something that takes some time to build and you grow. And because it takes time and you build and you grow it, the thought of having you all pay $120 a month for that in perpetuity because of that just didn't make sense to me. So we included that as one of the services for the Genius Library Founders Group, so that you would have the ability to be able to do this and not have to pay. You're paying me anyhow. You're already paying, and you're already paying for what you got. So this is a service that we can add to that stable of product that you have, and make sure that you can get something that you can offer in your local community, your local world, in the group that you belong to, or whatever it is that you want to do with this. This is an incredibly powerful tool. I got some business from a content survey that I put out one day as a result of a live feed. And I just simply said, I've got a quiz right here. If you want to know more about using content in your business, take that quiz right there. And it was an outcome quiz. It was intended to give me the kind of data feedback that I was looking for. And I had two people who went through the quiz, scheduled the time to talk to me, and both of them, we did a lot of business together. So simple little thing, I just included it in the Facebook Live, and it's a great way to do that. Yes, absolutely. There's some great ways to be able to use that in the educational industry. Coming from the educational background, I saw how valuable quizzes were, particularly from a data standpoint. So this was important for me to get on to have a passion about that, get on the bandwagon for making this work. It was just finding the right tool to do it with. So Carrie's going to share with you an affiliate link for Outgrow, but I'm going to recommend that you not do that. I'm going to recommend that you just simply use what we have in the Genius Libraries Founder Program, so that you get a chance to do that instead, because now you've got other things that you can sell. You've got ebooks that you can sell. You got courses that you can sell. You got things that you can take people through to get the outcome that you're looking for. That's the one that makes the most sense to me. You can go to Outgrow and spend at the bare minimum, and it gives you 5 quizzes, and it gives you 3 types for about $540 a year. We're offering you the Genius Library, which is everything, all the services packaged together, all of the stuff here. We're offering all of that to you for $585, $97 a month for 6 months. Then you never pay again. $597 spread out over 6-month payments, or $580, whatever that is, spread out over 6 payments of $97 apiece. And you never pay again. How cool is that? I mean, seriously. Is that cool or what? I hope that makes sense to you. All right. So we're getting close to that 40-minute mark. That's so important to me. And it really is an important point to me. Okay, and I'm going to switch my screen back because I want you to see this as we close out. But I wanted you to see that in a for real situation, how I have it included over here as pop-ups. I've got it included here as a pop-out. Okay, which was like this. I just didn't demo the chat. Hang on a second. Let me demo the chat bot for you, just so you can see it, okay? So give me just a second. I'm going to pull up the chat bot because I don't want you to miss this, because this is not included, by the way, this is not included in that basic $540 a year program. So let me show you. An example of the chatbot quiz. Now, this can come as a pop-up. It can come down in the corner as your typical chatbot. I'm just using it in the URL because it's easy to do. And there you go. Okay. Are y'all seeing that? Chatbots, by the way, are very, very popular because we can customize them like this right here. We can take them anywhere we want them to go. All right. Now I'm going to go back, switch my platform one more time, and then we're going to wrap this thing up because we're getting onto that 40-minute time period that I don't like to violate. I have to get back to this presentation. Now you should see this. So you get a chance to choose your path. You can do whatever you want to do. Our team creates one for you. You can create we can create a client experience for those. You can build it yourself, or you can become a Genius founder or Genius Library founder member for that. As I said before, $97 a month for 6 months. If you're currently a member, you're already in. If you're not a member, you really want to get in. And here's the way you do that. It's very simple. All right. Carrie's going to share with you the link to that right now, but that's it. geniuslibrary.convertri.com founder 2. And that's it. That's all you have to do. Like I said, it's $97 a month. Build on the day that you purchase every 30 days. And at the end of that time, you will forever be a founding member where you have the right and opportunity to use any of the tools on the platform, as well as sell them to the public. We made sure that all of our licensing is complete compliance with that and that everything would work out well. All right. Any questions? Make sure you click on that link, because when the webinar is over, it will go away. There, Hugh's first question or first answer. I'm sorry. Yes, it's a very quiet group. It's okay. It's a Thursday afternoon. People may be tired. People may have other excuses. Hugh, you and I need to talk anyhow. So you typed other stuff. I didn't see any of it. I'm sorry. We should probably have a virtual coffee. That's probably important. Yeah, Carrie said she's got it. So I will definitely have it. It will appear in the chat record. So, all right. Anything that I've missed that you need to know, Hugh, before we close out? Now, this, in my opinion, this is my opinion, dances circles around every other quiz, calculating, survey type of a platform there is. Then Lisa, let's do it. Let's get together. We'll make that happen. It's pretty easy. The truth is, I'm actually going to build a platform that collects that information. Okay. Yes, Hugh, we definitely need to do that. All right. If there's nothing else, make sure you've clicked on the link. Make sure you've clicked on the link so that you have it. Unless you're already like Hugh, Lisa, and Mark, who are already found, and Sandy, who are already founding members. But make sure that you've clicked on the link. Okay. All right. With that, I try to make sure I've got all of the meat and potatoes out in 40 minutes. I try to make sure that I'm done within an hour. And this one went faster than anything that I could have imagined. So I did get to that 50-minute mark. I'm happy with that, because your time is very precious and I don't like to waste it. It's not good for me to waste your time. That's bad stewardship. I try to keep things as simple as possible. And if there aren't any questions, then I'm going to assume that it was simple enough for you to be able to grasp. And then I prefer to make sure that we get those personal details taken care of in person. All right. So with that, I'm going to shut it down, and I wish you all a very, very lovely evening, rest of the afternoon, evening, whatever it might be. So Maya, I know it's different for you. Bless your heart. You always manage to make it no matter what it is that I'm doing and when it is. So I always appreciate that. All right. Have a great night. I'll talk to you soon.